Well, y'all, as you can see on the screen, we have immediately another freaking fusion, and we have to go over, is this guy worth going for? The thing that Raid tends to do, and that really tries to trap your players into spending, to trap the players into spending, is they run so many fusion events over and over and over again. The second this fusion ends in about 2 weeks or so, there's going to be another one 2 days later, 1 day later. That's how it's always going to go. So when you're going through, you know, the fusions, you really have to assess if it's even worth your time, worth your resources, worth anything, really, right? That's what you have to think about when you're going into this. So I'm going to be going over, you know, his kit. Do I think you should go for him? Yes or no? And then also a kind of sleeper unit, which is Yuzan the Maroon. He's actually pretty damn good for an epic. So starting off, without further ado, Lysanthir, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Lysanthir Beastbane. There we go. He is a high elf spirit affinity legendary champion, defense based. It seems like he is an offensive champion. Defensive, you know, you build him with defense, he does more damage and also gets more tanky, which is really good. He is kind of interesting. If you're looking to have one of the strongest possible starts, make sure to click the link in the description to get a free legendary Bambus 4-leaf and one of the best epics in the game to gore as you level up. Now, to make it happen, here are all the steps you need to follow. Number 1, make sure you are logged out of Plarium Play on PC, or you just don't have it installed at all. The next step, you just gotta go into the description, click the link, and register with a brand new email. Once you launch Raid and complete the tutorial, go to the mail, and there sitting will be your free legendary, and the epic will come soon after once you hit level 15. Starts like this in gachas are unheard of. Click my link right now and get the start that you deserve. Starting off with his A1, we have Hex. And I don't know if Hex got better since I stopped playing and then came back, but Hex has always been infamous, at least back when I was active in the game, for being a terrible debuff. Maybe it got better. It probably got better, but I still hate Hex, so I don't like seeing this here. This is a 2-hitter, 1 enemy. He has a first hit, 100% chance to place a Hex debuff on the target for 2 turns. And then he also places a 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. Crit damage, nice, but Hex, whatever. This is a pretty whatever A1. His A2 is a 3-turn cooldown, good to see. Attacks 1 enemy twice, has a 20% chance, which is not a lot, of repeating this attack. When this champion counterattacks or teams up with allies to join an attack, he will use this skill instead of his A1. The damage inflicted with the skill increases by 10% each time an ally is devoured, which seems like it is geared for Hydra. So clearly they're trying to make this a Hydra champ. And I'm gonna be real, I've never liked single target champions in Hydra. AoE target, AoE champions, AoE DPS just seems a lot better if we're going, you know, off of Hydra, right? I like that he has a chance of repeating the attack. I like that when he counterattacks and teams up, he uses this. That is a good thing. Are the multipliers amazing? Not really, right? Lets him down a little bit. Now, his A3 is 3-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies twice, which is really good. Each hit has a 100% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff and a 25% weaken debuff. If a target is under a Hex debuff, places these debuffs before attacking. So he just gets a little bit more benefit from the weaken. This is a pretty damn good ability. Decreased speed is really important. Speed is the most important stat in the game. Controlling the field is the most important thing you can do. This is an amazing ability. Weaken is just like decreased defense, which you should already be having already. I mean, you can get War Maiden immediately, and if you're later in the game, you obviously get better options for an AoE decreased defense. Weaken is a little bit harder to come by. This is a really good ability. Does it save him as a hero though? Well, let's go over the passive first. Survivalist Supreme will ignore a life barrier and ally protection buffs. Increases this champion's defense by 5% for each active buff on this champion, stacks up to 50%. Generally, it'll be around, most likely on average, 10 to 15%. It'll get higher or it'll get lower depending on your team. This is not something you can rely on being maxed out. I mean, realistically, it seems like he's being kind of teed up as a Hydra champion. Do I think it'll be good for Hydra? I think if you are earlier in the game, he might actually be good. But at that point, you probably don't need to focus on Hydra, and your resources might be better spent on a different fusion. His A3 is really good, but that's kind of it. And he loves to read. Well, he doesn't love to read, but he needs to read in order to work. There's a lot of investment that has to go into here. And a lot of investment in freaking fusions. Fusions in this game are annoying because they're always happening. You always have to plan for them and save for them. So, do I think Lysanthir Beastbane is good? I think he's good. I think he has potential. Do I think he's worth going for? No. I would skip Lysanthir Beastbane. Is he bad? Once again, absolutely not. If you want to pick him up because you have a use on your account that you need him to fill, absolutely go for it. I'm not going to stop you, but I do not recommend it because there's just better fusions. I mean, the last fusion we got, which I wasn't making content, so I couldn't really cover it at the time, but the last fusion we got is so much better. And what if the next one is that level as well? And you brick your account by going for him and not going for the next one, right? That's kind of what you need to think about when you're going for this. Are they a must pull? If they're not, I don't think it's worth the time. Obviously, you're going to grind the game, you're going to spend, and you want him, go for it. That's kind of how this sort of thing works in this game. Now, with that out of the way, we have to talk about Yuzan the Marooned, which I think is more worth going for. Mainly because he is easy to get. He is a requirement to get the legendary. You need 4 of him. He's essentially 25% of the requirement, right? You're most likely going to get one of him. He is an HP based epic, Void Affinity, which is good. And he is from the Skinwalker faction. He is a really solid support. His A1 attacks an enemy, transfers a random debuff from this champion to the target, and heals this champion by 10% of their max HP. Solid ability, nothing crazy though. His A2 is 3-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies, has a 100% chance of removing 2 random buffs from all allies, heals this champion by 10% of their max HP for each buff removed by the skill. That's really good, right? Really, really good. What can happen is if you're fighting 4 people, they all have at least 2 random buffs. You use this ability, it gets rid of 8 buffs. And that's an 80% heal on him, keeping him alive really, really well. And you want to keep him alive because he's a great support with his A3. 4-turn cooldown, not 3-turn, but he's an epic. We can cut him some slack. Removes 1 random debuff from all allies, then heals all allies by 20% of this champion's max HP, places a block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Is it the craziest ability ever? No. Is this really, really good for the requirements to get him? The requirements to book him? The requirements to build him? This is a good ability, especially if you were earlier on. If you have a replacement, you're not going to go for him, but getting a champion with really, really, really good supporting, especially for faction trials, is really important. If you're earlier on, you're going to use him as a healer, or if you're later on and you're still struggling with factions, he's going to be amazing for that. His passive as well, whenever this champion heals themselves using a skill, also heals all allies by 20% of the surplus heal. And you want to know what's crazy? He can heal up to pretty much 100% of his max HP with his A2, which then heals everyone. He is an amazing healer. I've found, personally, playing through the game on a new account so often that it's really hard to find a good healer early on. There are good healers, but you're not going to get many early. So he is going to fill that role. I think he is a must keep. You should keep at least one. I think he's honestly more desirable to me than the main fusion. Is the main fusion guy better? Probably, but does he require a lot more investment, a lot more time, a lot more resources to get him? And then you have to spend more resources to make him usable or as good as he could be. That's my perspective here. I think you guys should all go for Yuzan, and then I would honestly skip the fusion. It's like, yeah, is it really worth it? You know, that's what you got to ask yourself. Now, that's kind of everything I want to talk about. I just wanted to get that off my chest because, I don't know, every time I see a mediocre fusion, not bad fusions, but just a fusion that doesn't stand out to me, I'm always like, I feel for the guys that go for them, the people that go for them, and then they end up missing the next one when it's freaking Newt or whatever the heck, under Priest Brogni. These are like really good fusions in the past. you know, I feel for y'all, and I just needed to get this off my chest. Now, would you guys, out of curiosity, like a how to plan around whether you go for a fusion or not? How to decide if a fusion is worth it? Please let me know if you want to see that. Completely up to y'all. I'm just here to make, first of all, what I like, and also what you guys would like to see. So that's everything I wanted to cover. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all, and Destin signing out.